Yo, how's it going guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what I have learned from playing around 60 matches in FIFA 20. Some top tips which I think will really improve how you play the game, because these are things that I've learned on the way. I've had one of my worst records in FIFA for a long time, so actually making some changes has massively improved that. We're making a lot more chances, we're scoring a lot more goals, and ultimately winning a lot more matches. So if you find this video useful, please drop a like down below and subscribe for much more FIFA 20 content. But let's just get into it. I want to share with you some of my most helpful things that I have learned. So it's going to revolve around gameplay, formations, players, things like that, and I'll probably have a few clips running in the background. I'm going to see if I can find some good clips which just highlight exactly what I'm talking about. So first off, we'll start with the gameplay. Gameplay for me is fantastic. I really do like the gameplay. This is probably going to sound a bit of like a review, but it's not meant to be a review. It's just meant to be some tips that I have found. So first off, gameplay. One of the key things you should not do in FIFA 20 is cross the ball. Cross the ball just does not work. I can tell you how many times I've scored from a corner. 3 times. One with Van Dijk, one with Dumfries, one with Fabinho. If this was FIFA 19, you would have scored so many corners by now. You would have scored overhead kicks, everything in the first week of FIFA. But to be honest, I actually like corners this way, because you see corners not very often scored in real life. I would ultimately say probably not as rare as in FIFA 20, but it's just one of those things. I think it doesn't really require much skill. If you have Ronaldo, Ibra, in FIFA 19 it was a guaranteed goal. So for me, I am happy that the corners are like this. What I would say is an alternative, if you get a corner, because I came up against a guy who was crossing, he had about 20 corners, and I kept a clean sheet. What you need to do is play a short corner. Play a short corner into one of your skillful attackers. Do a little dart with them. See if you can get maybe a low-driven cross, a low-driven pass, something like that, just to put it in the area. And you never know, with the bounces, things like that, rebounds, you've got a much better chance of scoring. So that is my first tip. Just don't cross the ball. It doesn't matter how good your wingers are, how good you have people in the box that are heading. I think even if you have Ronaldo, I wouldn't be crossing the ball. I would try and build up differently. If you're a crosser on the ball, just try and change your play style. That is just the first tip. So up next, we have something that I'm still learning. It's so frustrating. Even after 60 games, I'm still going back to my FIFA 19 playstyle, which is pinging the ball all around the field to just try and play quick passes. But it doesn't work like that. You have to be so patient with the ball. I've watched a lot of top players playing FIFA 20, and they are so patient with the ball. When I come up against a really good opponent, they are so patient. They do not give me the opportunity to make an easy interception, because FIFA 20 interceptions are broken in my opinion. I think they are ridiculous. I've got Fabinho in the team. He makes so many interceptions for me. He is an insane player, but I've come up against players much worse ratings than Fabinho, and they just seem to make interceptions like it's nothing. So that is one thing that I would make sure you don't do. Don't rush the passes, because you will be intercepted, counter-attacked, and probably won't win as many matches, because you're not holding possession in the game. You're not dictating the play, and you're not creating as many chances as you would be if you play not always the safer passes, but pick your moment carefully. If you have a counter-attacking opportunity, of course, try and play it down the wing. Try and play it to the open man, because you have a much better opportunity to score from this. But if, say, you've got your centre-back or your goalkeeper, and you see your centre-back, yes, he's slightly open, but the attacker is closing you down, just clear it. Or just play a safer pass. Don't go for the risky one, because ultimately you will suffer. I've suffered so many times playing it to my centre-back, not clearing it with my centre-backs when I do have it on the edge of the box, and I've played it back to my opponents. It's just one of them things in FIFA that you really need to be careful with. Patience is key in FIFA 20. Remember that when you're playing. Don't always try and rush. If you go 1-0 behind, tell yourself, look, it's only 1-0. Nothing's changed. I still need to score if I want to win this game. Just be calm, be patient, and hopefully that will improve your FIFA 20 gameplay, because it's definitely improved mine. Up next, I'm going to talk about pace. So pace, every year, pace is phenomenal in FIFA. It's one of the most broken things, and I think this year it is still really overpowered. Your centre-backs, they need pace. I've gone for Joe Gomez and Eder Militao. Started off with Koulibaly, and I think Koulibaly and I can't remember the other centre-back, but they were both Not the quickest. I know they're not the slowest, but they weren't the quickest is what I'm trying to say. But the one I should have gone for, I had Delict. I just remembered I had Delict, but I should have gone for Manolas, because Manolas, he is rapid. He is so quick. He would be a really good pickup. He's very expensive, but ones that I would recommend, Joe Gomez. I think he's around 5,000 coins. Absolutely phenomenal card. Still use him in my team today. As for the right backs and left backs, I don't really think left backs and right backs really need as much pace, but it is very helpful if you have quick fullbacks, because if you make a mistake with your centre backs, midfielders, whatever, you have the pace to track back. Tried out Sidibe in the draft and he was good, but there are a few times, one game he got caught out twice on the counter attack, so maybe if I had Wan-Bissaka, someone a bit quicker like him, we wouldn't have lost that draft in the final. But yeah, I just try and build a pacey defence. Not all about pace obviously, but I think the guys that I've come up against who've had pacey defenders have done a lot better than the ones that have gone for Alderweireld, Vertonghen, players like that which don't carry a lot of pace. As for the next tip, it is about formation. Now, for me, I'm running the 4-2-2, but I'll also go with the 4-2-3-1, and I also played the 4-3-3 fourth variant with the cams. So, as you can tell, there is no meta formation this year. In my opinion, I don't think that is going to be such a key thing. Last year it was a 4-1-2-1-2. Yes, it's very overpowered this year as well. That is another formation I use. But I think you need to choose a formation based on your playstyle. Don't just go for one that maybe you've used in previous years because you thought it was effective on FIFA 19. See what's effective this year. One of the main things I have noticed is a double striker formation is so good because you get the 1-2s. I've got Martial and Rashford up front. Playing the 1-2s between them when the 1-2s are really something quite good in this game, something to utilise. I think that really does help your gameplay having two strikers up front. But yeah, there isn't a set formation this year. It's one thing that I would definitely note. Try out a bunch of them. If you're suffering with one, go to another. If you come up against a guy who's running a 4-2-3-1, why don't you match him? If he's so defensive, just match him. You don't have to stick with one formation throughout the game. You've got 4 options, essentially. Even 5 maybe. Yeah, 5 options balanced. And obviously the defensive and attacking, you've got 5 options. You know what you can do to change the game, and if you don't, just try it out. Just have multiple formations. I always do this. If I'm losing at half time, I'll switch to a 4-3-1-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever it is, the opposite of what I've been running for the first half, and quite often than not, it helps me get back in the game. It's really surprising how much changing formation does. Personally, I don't change custom tactics, etc. in games because I just don't have too much of an understanding, but if you do, make sure to change these as well, because I'm sure they will impact your gameplay. I just don't do it myself, but if I did, I'd probably win more matches. I've changed these on my regular first setup, but for the other formations I switch to, I don't normally change the custom tactics. So that is the next tip. Formations aren't meta, I don't think. I don't think there is a one set formation. Try out a bunch, see what you like, and hopefully that will help you win more games in FIFA 20. Up next for me is about skill moves. Skill moves this year just don't seem to be as effective as they have been in any previous FIFAs. You can't perform them nowhere near as quickly, even if you have the top players like Neymar. João Felix was probably one of the best dribblers I've used. He was very good at doing the skill moves, but when you try to do 1 or 2 skill moves in a row, quite often, as stated before FIFA 20 came out, you lose the ball, it flies away from you, and that is really frustrating for someone like me who has sort of certain players which I used in FIFA 19 to create me chances. I can no longer use them. So I remember I used to run down the wing, do the Berber spin, try and do like a fake shot, and then I would have the chance to cut it back. But that doesn't seem to work this year. Nothing really seems to work. La Croqueta I can't get to work with any sort of play. So that is one thing that I would look out for. Skill moves. If there is a broken skill move, let me know down in the comments below. But at the moment, I can't find a skill move which I think really helps my gameplay. So if you're one-on-one with the defender, maybe just be patient, wait for the pass, wait for the overlapping run, rather than trying to La Croqueta around him, because more often than not, with the defending that I will talk about in the next point, your opponent will steal the ball back. So skill moves, be careful. Don't try them too often. Don't try them in dangerous areas, because tackling on this game is very good. You will be intercepted and you probably will lose the ball and suffer. So that is my next point. Up next is about defending. Now, defending is something I am no good at. Defending is such a key part on this game, obviously. You want to concede as least goals as possible, and one way of doing this so important, is through LT and RT. So, got the controller here. All you will do when you're playing is hold LT and RT with your midfielders. So I'm going to have some players running around on the screen. LT and RT will move your midfielders so quick. It'll get them in front of the ball really nicely, and you'll be able to intercept the passes. That is how your opponent is intercepting you every single time, because they're just using LT and RT. What you want to do whilst doing this is hold LT and RT. That will move you around really quickly, but when you think there's an opportunity to actually tackle the ball, let go of RT. So you'll be going like this, let go of RT, and then you want to tap B. B to tackle when you have the perfect opportunity to win the ball, because you don't want to be diving in, you don't want to be pressing B. I have Fabinho, Sissoko, I've tried Kante. If you press B, they go in for a big tackle. They are not going to be able to recover. If your opponent just dances around you, they have a great opportunity. They're running at your goal, running at your defenders. You have to do something. So you have to do the same with your centre-backs. So you don't want to make the same mistake. As for holding A, now holding A was something I did in FIFA 19. Holding X obviously on PS4, it's one of them things where it's contained, so I wouldn't really recommend this. I've tried as little as possible to use contain because AI defending is not effective this year. You really need to take ownership of your defending. L2 and R2, you will notice if you let your AI defend, quite often than not, they will just stand there. I've had players like De Ligt, Fabinho, just stand there, let their opponents run past them, especially in the midfield. So you need to cut the passing lanes. Look out for the passing lanes. Don't try and just block off every single pass that your opponent is making directly by holding A. Hold LT and RT, L2, R2. Try and stop the passing. Your players can run so quick. That is how I defend on this game, and I think it's really effective, especially with your fullbacks. If you've got your fullbacks and the player is playing out wide, let them have the opportunity to cross, because as I mentioned earlier, crossing is no good this year. No, it's terrible. It's worse than terrible. It's just not effective at all. So I've played 60 games, 3 goals from corners. Don't waste your time crossing. It's really not worth it. The last point on this list will be about how to finish. Now, finishing for me, I really like it. When I first got the game, I thought every shot's going in. This is unbelievable. But for me, I think the most broken finish is the near post finish. Near post, for some reason, seems really effective. I don't know what it is, but EA need to patch it, I think. I think they will in the next release, because I've got Courtois. Every shot of the near post flies in. I'm like, oh my god, I've got Courtois. How is he conceding in this position? But I think it doesn't matter which goalkeeper you have. Really don't think so. Go for the near post at the moment. If that changes, I will be sure to release another tips video. But I think that is just one of the key things to look out for. Near post, time finesses work. Okay, I don't think you need to time finesse on the edge of the box. Obviously, depends which player you've got. But I scored an absolute banger with Griezmann. Obviously, he's an amazing player. From about 25 yards out, no time finesse, into the top corner. Really lovely goal. I just don't think you need to do the time finesses this year. So, finesses from outside the box are great. Low drivens are really good. Crossbody doesn't seem to work as effective for me. I would go for the low driven. Try and get it on your striker's strong foot. Unless you've got Heung-min Son or Neymar. But that is what I have been doing at this moment in time for finishing. I've been getting a lot of goals with it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy these tips. These are just some of the main things that I've learned this year. I'm really enjoying the game. I hope you guys are too. If you have found this video useful, please drop a like down below and subscribe for much more FIFA 20 content. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all later.